Hello everyone. If there's anyone around watching, I thought that I would do a little video on making molds or appliques from resin. What I'm going to be using is the Easy Cast resin from Barnes. So basically it's a two-part product that you mix together, and then you can pour them into your silicone molds and make these beautiful appliques that you can put on your furniture or homewares or anything that you like. Now, I've got a huge range of them. I collect them, I love them. I think they're just great. I use them on heaps of stuff. But what I thought I'd play around with today was a couple of new ones that I got. One's called Silver Bells, and these are redesigned with Prima molds, and the other one is called Victorian Adornments. And I thought, being Christmas, it might be fun to do a couple of these. And they've got these little pieces here that you can, you'll be able to string them up. So I'm going to do some and decorate them and hang them from the shop. But you could do them for your tree or for decorations around the house, or if you're decorating the table, you could use them for that. So that's what we're going to do. Now, it's a two-part system, and it's a part A and a part B. So part A is like an orangey colour, and part B is a clear. What I do is I like to have two little measuring cups that have got the little markers on the side, and I like to keep them separate. So one for part A and one for part B. And then I like to keep a separate cup here, again with the little markers, little beaker, and I use that to mix them into. That way you can see exactly what you're measuring. So the easiest way to go about it is make sure you give it a shake before you start. And I would say when you're starting, don't mix too much at once, because you can actually really waste quite a lot, especially when you're not used to how far things go. And if you can, have a spare mold ready for any leftovers that you can tip it into, just to sort of, so you don't waste any. All right, so I'm going to go for, this one's looking a bit dirty. These are a bit bigger, so I'm going to go for, I think it's 22.5 mils. It's up here. So I'm going to fill up to there, first with my part A. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, put my resin out the way. Now I'm going to grab the part B, and I'm going to do the same with that. So 22.5, got my little thumbnail on it there. Okay, I'm going to pop lids on those, because knowing me, I'll knock them over and knock everything over. Now I've got another one. Bigger one. It's actually really good if I'm doing really fine sort of things like this. This is the Bell Orchids one from Redesign with Prima. It's really pretty. I usually put it in something that's got like just a little lip so that it's easier to pour. Make sure you've got yourself a paddle pop stick ready to stir. You only get a limited amount of time, like a couple of minutes before this starts setting. So I'm going to tip the two in together now into the mixing cup. Pop them aside, grab my little stick and stir away. Don't forget, you don't want to leave yourself short of time. And literally, I'm going to start pouring. You can tap it if you need to. It will go on down to the lower parts. And that little bit's just gone over, so I'm just going to wipe that in. Make sure it goes all the way to the edge, but you don't really want to overfill it. Just making sure that gets up into that little ring up here, because I really need that filled so that you can hang it. This is where the little beaker with the pouring lip comes in handy. Okay, and the rest I'm just going to tip out. You'll feel it start to heat up, So this one I didn't have exactly quite enough, but I'm not worried about it. I'm going to come back and just add some on top. So if you run out, or like if you've don't have quite enough, don't worry, you can come back and I'm just going to pour over the top of that. So we'll make another little bit up. Make a little bit more up, because these were actually really big molds. And I'm going to fill that other one. I can feel that heat starting to come in already on those. So as it starts to activate, you'll feel the heat. I just need to check. I haven't actually got a lot of the, just enough. So I'm going to throw those in and mix again. But if you can see over here, you can see where it's starting to go white. That's where it's starting to set already. So that's the reaction starting to happen together. So you don't need to mix it for long. You just want to give it a really quick mix and get pouring. So I'm going to top up this little section here. I couldn't find my other little beaker today. I don't usually use this one for these. I usually use it for mixing, this bigger one, when I'm doing bigger lots. Okay, I'm just making sure it goes all the way to the edge there. And I need to do a little bit on this side. I can see over here that it hasn't gone right to the edge. All right, now, again, you can do it on, if you've got leftovers, keep a mold handy so that you can fill it up so you're not wasting any. It's good even if you've just got like little ones like this that you can pour them into, just so that you don't waste it. It's not particularly cheap, so you want to make sure that you're getting the best use of it all. And again, that one didn't actually go right to the end. Sometimes you'll get little air bubbles. You can just blow over the top of them if you do. So if you see any sort of little bubbles, just blow over the top of it, and that will usually, or tap your mold a little bit, and that will usually get them out. I usually prefer to underfill rather than overfill. So this one here is probably maybe just a little bit overfull. For this thing, because I'm going to hang them, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be hanging. But if you have them overfull, you sort of tend to get a curved surface, whereas if you're going to actually stick them onto your furniture, you don't want that. You really want to keep it flat. So normally underfill rather than overfill is the best rule to go by. That's why I normally, like I said, I normally use a pourer, beaker that's got like a little lip so that you've got a lot better control over it. Okay, this one, see it's going off already. Doesn't take long, so you really don't want to waste time while you're mixing. You just want to get in there, mix it really quick and pour it really quick. Otherwise you'll find that it sets in your cup and you've wasted a whole lot. Now your cup's really easy to clean, your little beaker, when you get them, because once this dries, you can actually just sort of peel it off and pull it straight out. Okay, if I stick my finger on that, it's really quite warm. You can really, really feel that heat generating out of it. That's the chemical reaction that you get that happens with it. You want to wait for it to be fully set. Usually it takes, I don't know, 10 minutes or so for them to fully set. I will pull some out shortly and show you how they look. Probably I'll pull them out a little bit sooner than I normally would, but. So these are really great. What I found too is, just by accident, that if you need to slightly curve it, I was doing something with the hairdryer and I happened to get some resin in the line of the hairdryer, and it sort of curved it, like it sort of melted it a little bit. So you could actually use your hairdryer to heat it just slightly and bend it a little bit if you need to. I don't think it's going to bend to wrap around, a bottle or something, but if you've got a curved surface, I think you'll be able to do that with it. I use a lot of the Darwee clay with these molds and the redesigned one, but the Darwee clay I find doesn't shrink and crack, so I tend to prefer that one. And But I find that when you have the really small, delicate pieces, like it would be great on something like this, but when you have the really delicate pieces, it's a lot harder to get it out of the mold. So even when you dust your molds with corn flour first, it is a lot harder to get the detail and to work with some of them that are even more delicate than this. And the resin picks up every last little bit of detail, and it just shows it up just beautifully. It's good to have both of them in your toolbox if you can. Now, where it's actually gone over here, it's slightly poured over a little bit. When you first take that out the mold, it'll be fairly soft still. I usually just use a little pair of scissors or a little Stanley knife, and you can just peel that away almost. Sometimes you can just use your fingernails just to peel off any excess, so you've got the really nice, even, crisp lines. They're still really warm, but the heat is starting to go out of it, so that tells me that the main reaction part of it is sort of finishing. So now it's just cooling down. Look, I've got it on my table. If you get it on your table, just wait. Rather than try and rub it off straight away, wait for it to set and then just get a little something sharp and you should just be able to peel it off. That's me all over, really organised. I would normally leave them in longer, but I don't want to have you sit in here for hours. So I can see that they're pretty much set, and also these are fairly solid ones. There's a really delicate piece up the top here, so I hope this works out all right. Maybe I should leave this a bit longer. What can I use? I'm just going to let that sit just a little bit longer because I can see that little circle is still really pliable. And actually looking at this one, I've actually missed a tiny bit at the top. So after I take it out, when I do my next pour, I might just put it up and pop it back in and just add on that little piece there. Okay, there you go. So there it's out. That's still really soft up here. So don't rush it when you're doing this at home, but see on the edges here where there was a slight overpour, I can just literally take that while it's still soft and peel that back so that I've got a really nice smooth outline to it. Can you see? And I just love the detail in it. It picks up every last little bit of detail. Now guys, you're all upside down, so if there's any questions, I can't see them, but I'll answer them later. I did put the link to where the resin is on the feed there. Let's see how this one's going. So this little one should be all right. I'm going to pop this out. See that detail? Even though the clay is great, it just doesn't get quite the same detail. So if you're doing this at home, usually wait about, best practice is to give it 15 minutes or so. So you can just loosen it slightly before you tip it out. Go around, loosen the edges of your mold. And then it's like when you do chocolate. Turn it over and just with one hand hold the edge and the other hand peel back the mold. Okay, look at that. How pretty is that? Now these little pieces here, you can just pull them off. So I haven't got a knife here with me, but you can usually just peel them back and pull them off. Little pair of scissors or a knife. How beautiful are they? They're so pretty, and they're so good when you put them on your pieces of furniture and stuff. I'm gonna pull this one out. See how easily it comes out when it's properly dry. Now see that little piece there? You'll see where it didn't go all the way around in the circle. Can you see there's a gap? So I'm going to put that back in, make up a tiny bit more and refill that, and that'll join that up. But once these are painted and have your decorative waxes and things on them, they just come up gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So we're really excited to be stocking the resins now. Took me a while to find some, but they have been walking out the door. I think there's only a couple left, but I have another order on back order. So this one was Bell Orchids, but they're all on my site too. So yeah, just come along with your knife or something and just pop out those little bits of extra while it's still soft. And peel anything off. So there you go. That's how easy it is to use the Easy Cast resin. And yeah, give it a go, guys, because there's just so much stuff you can do. And over here in Australia, our furniture is just really, really plain. So I love it that you can just jazz it up and make it look like it's something spectacular by adding some simple adornments like these. Okay, see you later.